Hello everyone and welcome back to another lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you about connectors or conjunctions. But before we begin the lesson, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Now, let us begin. What are connectors? Another name for connectors is conjunctions. But what really are connectors? Connectors or conjunctions are joining words. We also call them linking words. And the reason for this is because connectors are used to connect two or more sentences together. Okay? Connectors are used to connect or to link or to join two or more sentences together. You may also say that connectors are used to link two or more ideas together. Okay? So when you join two ideas or three ideas together, you will need connectors or conjunctions. Okay? When you have a simple sentence, which is a sentence with only one verb, and you want to join that simple sentence to another sentence so that you have what we call a compound sentence, then you will need a connector. But also, when you want to join one sentence to another sentence and then to another sentence so that you have three sentences joined together, you will need to use connectors. And that we call a complex sentence. So, a simple sentence has one verb. A compound sentence has two verbs. A complex sentence has three verbs. To join two simple sentences together, you will need to use a connector. And to join three sentences together, you will need to use connectors. So in other words, connectors are very, very important because in speech or in writing, we are always joining our sentences or ideas together. Okay? For example, if I say, Jack kicked the ball. Jack kicked the ball. That is a simple sentence because it has one verb, which is kicked. But imagine that Jack kicked the ball and then he scored a goal. So in that compound sentence, you have two simple sentences, which are Jack kicked the ball, he scored. Jack kicked the ball, he scored. Now, to join those two sentences together, you have to use a connector so that you have a compound sentences. You have a compound sentence, which is Jack kicked the ball and scored a goal. Now that compound sentence has two verbs, which is kicked and scored. And you notice, to join those two sentences together, Jack kicked the ball and scored a goal. I have joined those two simple sentences together using a connector. And the connector is and. Jack kicked the ball and scored a goal. Okay? Now, let us look further into the various types of connectors. Now that we know what connectors do, they join two or three sentences together or ideas. Okay? We have 5 different types of connectors. 5 different categories or groups of connectors. The first group is number 1, contrast. There are connectors which help us to contrast ideas. Okay? They help us to contrast ideas. Now, they include but, however, on the other hand, otherwise, unlike, conversely, at the same time, in spite of. And what they actually do is they try to help us to talk about the opposite of something. To contrast is to give the opposite of something, the other side of the coin. For example, the first one is but. I will give you an example using but as a connector. Okay? He kicked the ball, but he did not score. He kicked the ball, but he did not score. So, those two ideas, kick and scored, are contrasted. In other words, he did something, but the result was the opposite. Okay? That is what contrasting connectors do. They put two ideas which are opposites in the same sentence. The next word in that category is however. That is the next connector. Okay? He sat for his exams. However, he failed. He sat for all his exams. However, he failed. So, you have two ideas there. Somebody sitting for his exams, or someone taking all his exams, as Americans say, but failing them. I will give you another example. He looks intelligent, however, he is quite stupid. He looks intelligent, however, he is quite stupid. Or you can say, he looks quite clever, but he is quite stupid. So you have two ideas there, clever and stupid, contrasted together. Okay? And then you have, on the other hand, I am looking forward to flying to Sweden. On the other hand, I am scared of flying. I am really looking forward to flying to Sweden. On the other hand, I am very scared of flying. Okay? So you have two ideas there. Someone who is really looking forward to flying to Sweden, but they are scared. They don't like flying because they get really nervous. Okay? The next one is otherwise. I will see you tomorrow as soon as I arrive. I will see you, or I will call you tomorrow as soon as I arrive. Otherwise, you will know that I have not arrived. I will call you tomorrow as soon as I have arrived. Otherwise, you will know that I have not arrived. Okay? So those two ideas there are contrasted together. I will call you as soon as I arrive home. As soon as I get home, I will call you. But if I don't call you, then you know that I have not arrived. Okay? And the same way we use unlike, conversely, at the same time, in spite of, okay? In spite of his hard work, he failed the exams. In spite of his hard work, he failed his exams. In spite of his hard work, he failed all his exams. I'm very happy to see you. At the same time, I'm really sad because you are terminally ill. I am really excited to see you after a long time, but at the same time, I am really sad because you are terminally ill. So you see, there are two ideas there that are being contrasted, two ideas that are the opposite of each other. Okay? So this group of connectors help us to contrast ideas. Okay? In a sentence, I would say in a compound sentence, okay? Remember earlier on I said that connectors are used to help us to join two or more sentences together, okay? So when you join two sentences together, but you want to contrast the ideas, you want to make sure that the two ideas are opposite of each other in those two sentences, then you use connectors that help you to contrast the ideas, and you use the connectors that we have just looked at in the first group of connectors that contrast ideas. Now let's move on to the next category. The next category of connectors are connectors of comparison. Connectors of comparison. Connectors of comparison put two or three ideas together in a sentence by comparing them. Okay? By comparing them. The first one, it's contrasting the ideas, but the second category is comparing them. Okay? Now, they are in a similar manner, by the same token, similarly, likewise, in the same way. Okay? I will give you an example. My son is very hardworking. In a similar manner, is my husband. Okay, my son is very, very hardworking. In a similar manner is my husband. So in that sentence, I am comparing my husband to my son. And I'm saying that they are both hardworking. Okay. Now, the next one is by the same token. Okay. He is very lazy. By the same token, he is always late for lessons. Okay, so he is lazy and always late for lessons. So he is not only lazy, but he is always late for his lessons. The next one is similarly. He left the house very late this morning. Similarly, he arrived at his work very late. Okay? Then we have likewise. He is very good at what he does. Likewise, he tries his best every single time. Okay? So here you really just are comparing two ideas in the same sentence using the connector. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next category, and that is addition. What these connectors do is that they help you to put two or three ideas together, but this time you are not contrasting them, you are not comparing them, okay? But you're adding the ideas together. In other words, you want to talk about more than one thing. The first one is we have besides, and, also, moreover, then, furthermore, in addition to, not only, but also, as well. Now, the first one is besides. Besides his hard work, he is also extremely intelligent. So, besides his hard work, he is also very intelligent. So, in addition, he is not only hardworking, but he is also intelligent. The next one is and. We arrived late and then we called the taxi. We arrived late and then we called a taxi to bring us to the hotel. Then we have also, he cooks very well, and also he can clean up after himself. Then moreover, he is sick and he is sleeping in bed. He is sick and moreover, he is sleeping in bed. So, there are two ideas there that I want to explain about the situation. Then we have then. He arrived home, then he took his jacket off. He arrived home, then he took his jacket off. So he arrived home, that is one idea, and then he took his jacket off. That's the other idea. Then we have furthermore. He owes me £100. Furthermore, He owes my mother 200 pounds. Then we have in addition to. In addition to him taking piano lessons, he also plays hockey. Okay? Then we have not only, but also. Not only does he play football, but also volleyball. And then we have as well as. Okay? He plays volleyball as well as football. So in other words, all these connectors of addition, when you want to join two ideas together, okay, but you don't want to contrast them or compare them, you just want to talk about two ideas together. Like for example, Jack kicked the ball. That's one idea. Jack scored the ball. You don't want to speak one sentence after another. You want to join them. So you will say, Jack kicked the ball and he scored a goal. Jack kicked the ball, then he scored a goal. Besides kicking the ball, Jack scored a goal. In addition to kicking the ball, Jack scored a goal. Not only did Jack kick the ball, but also he scored a goal. As well as kicking the ball, Jack scored a goal. So what you notice that I have made a sentence, the very same sentence, using all the connectors of addition, okay? Simply to put two ideas together, which are Jack kicking the ball and scoring a goal, okay? The next category of connectors is connectors of sequence. And these are extremely important, especially when you're giving a speech or when you're writing, okay? They tell us in which order things happened, what happened first, what happened secondly, and so on and so forth. I'll give you an example. Firstly, I went to the bank. Then I went to the post office. Afterwards, I decided to visit a good friend of mine. And finally, I returned back home. Okay? So, when you're speaking, when you want someone to know in which order, okay, in which chronological order, what did you do first, and then what did you do next, and then what did you do next, okay, then you use a connector of sequence. And when you're writing, okay, when you're writing, it is extremely important that you introduce your paragraphs by using connectors of sequence, okay? Like for example, firstly, they did a research to find out the causes of brain cancer. Secondly, they looked at the effect of breast cancer on women who are younger than 30 years. Next, they did further research to find out whether there was a link between breast cancer and stomach cancer. And then they concluded that, okay, afterwards, they decided that none of these cancers had anything to do with each other. And finally, they arrived at the conclusion that to beat cancer, you need to live a healthy life. That is just an example that I've given. So when you want to link your ideas together by giving them a kind of chronological order, then you need to use connectors of sequence. Okay? Now, let's move on to the last category of connectors, and that is connectors of cause and effect. What these connectors do is they connect two ideas together, but there is a link between these two ideas because one is as a result of the other. As a result of someone doing A, they ended up with B. I'll give you an example. The first one is therefore. He did not watch over his small brother. Therefore, his younger brother drowned in the pool. Okay? He did not watch over his younger brother, and therefore he drowned in the pool. He did not watch over his younger brother, so he drowned in the pool. Because he did not watch over his younger brother, he drowned in the pool. Okay? He did not watch over his younger brother, thus he drowned in the pool. Okay? He did not drive carefully, hence he caused a car accident. As a result of his negligence, he caused a car accident. He did not drive carefully. Consequently, he caused a car accident. So you can see that the ideas in all those sentences are connected to each other because one action leads to another one. He did not study hard for his exams, therefore he failed. He did not study hard for his exams, so he failed. He did not study hard for his exams. Consequently, he failed. So all these connectors mean that someone did not do something well, and as a result of that, they ended up with a result that they did not like. Okay? Cause and effect. Okay? One action leads to another. You don't study hard, so you fail your exams. You don't watch over your brother, so he drowns in the pool. Okay? He did not pay his bills. Therefore, he lost his house. He did not pay his rent. Hence, he was kicked out of the house. Okay, so we are now coming to the end of the lesson. We have looked at connectors or conjunctions. I explained that connectors or conjunctions are linking words. They link two ideas together, and we also saw that there are 5 categories of connectors. Some connectors contrast ideas, others help to compare ideas, others help us to add ideas together, others help us to create some kind of sequence, and others we use them when we want to show that one action led to another. Okay, that is cause and effect. Now, this brings us to the end of our lesson. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop the questions in the comment section, and I will do my very best to respond to your question. Now, if you found this lesson useful, please subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and hit the like button and share this video with your friends and family members who need it. Thank you very much, and see you in our next lesson. Bye bye.